Ohio. It's going to be a good one. The Big 12 taking on the MAC as Iowa State comes to town at 1-1, taking on Ohio at 2-1 here at Peden Stadium. Welcome to the All-State Saturday kickoff as the band and fans making their way into the seats here at Peden Stadium. This should be a really good matchup because we've got two good quarterbacks. The young gun for Iowa State, Rocco Becht, making his third start, and the veteran, Kurtis Rourke. He is the Michael Jordan of the offense for Ohio. This should be a fun matchup offensively. What's up, everybody? Welcome inside the booth alongside my partner, former Notre Dame linebacker and NFL linebacker. He's Rocky Boyman. I'm John Schriffen. Don Davenport will join us in a moment. All right, so we start with Iowa State. Tough loss last week, right? In-state rival Iowa. This is now their first road game of the season, and for them, they want to get the run game going.
Yeah, they tried doing that last week, but it's always hard to get the run game going against that Iowa defense, but something they really want to live on. That's their identity, running the football. And Cartavius Norton, he's a sledgehammer of a running back there, 225 pounds. They're going to give it to number 5 today.
All right, as for Ohio, Kurtis Rourke, he is their guy. Suffered a knee injury to end his season last year. He has come back bigger, stronger, faster. They're going to rely on him today.
He's the MAC Offensive Player of the Year last year, and this dude is the real deal. 6'5", he's got a howitzer attached to his right shoulder there, and he likes to really sling that thing around. Talked to a couple NFL scouts before the game that were here to see Mr. Rourke, and I really like how he has full command of that offense. They allow him to check in and out of certain plays that he likes. He'll keep it with his legs a little bit, but he has got a bevy, John, of wide receivers. He'll pass that ball around too.
Tim Albin, head coach for Ohio, in his third season, he said, you know what, we've had turnover issues. We've got to figure out a way to get it fixed. It's going to be a tough job, though, against a Big 12 opponent in Iowa State here coming to town. Matt Campbell, for 5 years, he was one of the best coaches in the MAC at Toledo. Now in his 8th season here at Iowa State. So he's got a renewed energy with all the youth on his roster. It feels like it's year 1 or 2. Iowa State has won the toss. They defer. It'll be Ohio ball as Sam Wiglusz will take it out of his own end zone. And he will be tackled just after crossing the 15-yard line. All right, so we have some late breaking news. There is some kind of illness going on with Iowa State. For more on how that could possibly impact this game, let's welcome in the third member of our crew, Don Davenport.
Yeah, John, 5 or 6 Iowa State players suffered some kind of food poisoning yesterday and were up all night sick. And that included starting quarterback Rocco Becht and starting wide receiver Jalen Knoll. Knoll now questionable for this matchup. Rocco Becht, though, will go in this one. Head coach Matt Campbell told me, you know how tough Rocco Becht is. There's no way he's missing that. He's got some guts, some moxie to him, but certainly something to keep an eye on.
All right, Don, we will keep an eye on when Iowa State gets the ball. Ohio with their first offensive snap. They go on the run game. C.A. Bangura. He is the feature back since last year, since O'Shawn Allison missed all of last year with a shoulder injury, and he knows he's the guy now.
He is. We talked about Iowa State wanting to run the ball. Well, so does Ohio. They really do well when they come out and can establish some balance early.
He picked up 1 on first down. He'll bring up 2nd and 9. Rourke working out of the shotgun. He's looking to throw, scanning the field, now underneath, and he throws it incomplete wide left. He was looking for Sam Wiglusz. He's the former walk-on for Ohio State. Kurtis Rourke comes here after his brother was the quarterback here at Ohio, Nathan, and he's gone through so many injuries, but Rocky, like you said, he is now finally healthy.
Yeah, and he's a late bloomer, too. A guy that didn't have a bunch of size until a few years ago, but he's grown into that position, and I'm telling you, I really like the command he has of this offense. A big opportunity here early for him on a 3rd and 9.
On 3rd and 9, Rourke throws, back foot throw, completes it to his tight end, Wilkes Merrick. But no gain as T.J. Tampa was there in coverage for Iowa State.
Yeah, and he goes to Kesmerick, and he was the only guy that was even a little bit open. You looked all across that field. Iowa State had those Bobcat receivers locked down. Nice job by this defense. We'll get into this defense more as this game goes on. Really love how they play this 3-3-5 alignment.
So Jared Wheatley will come on to punt for Ohio. And Dimitri Stanley will be the deep man for Ohio State. Now that could be a big news for Ohio State, because we were expecting for Iowa State, as Jalen Knoll was supposed to be the returner today. Fair catch called for by Stanley. And they will have good position starting in Ohio territory, a 31-yard punt. For Iowa State, making his third career start, the freshman Rocco Becht at quarterback.
And he did a nice job, especially last week. Again, Iowa's defense, that's not exactly the defense you want to make your second start in college football in. Thought he did a nice job. A lot of short stuff. He wasn't helped by a lot of drops by that wide receiving core, but I like his quick release. I like how he scans the field, seems to really know this offense well. If he can get some run game going and maybe hopefully take a few shots over the course of today, I think he can do well.
Cartavius Norton will start as the running back behind Beck. On 1st and 10, they do go with him on the ground, and he is just hot. Bryce Houston, the linebacker, met him in that hole. He is one of the athletic freaks on this defense. He squats 720 pounds, Rocky.
And he's only 240 pounds. It's not like he's a 350-pound lineman, but number 32, Bryce Houston, and his partner in crime, Key Thompson, the other linebacker, two of the best linebackers in the MAC. The dynamic duo back there for the Green.
So no gain will bring up 2nd and 10. Back to the ground, Norton finds a crease into the hole, bangs off of another tackler. And Norton, you see how physical he is. He's a guy they can depend on to get at least 3 yards, and he got more there after the first contact, picked up 8.
And you'll see that it's that outside zone scheme. They got a big, revamped offensive line. Those guys have gotten bigger and stronger up front, and they just allow him to find that crease and hit that thing north-south.
No sign of Jalen Knoll. We have not seen him on the field yet to start the game at wide receiver for Iowa State. On 3rd and 2, they go back with Norton. Gets pushed back, still on his feet, and he lost yards on that play. A loss of 2 on 3rd down. Bryce Houston, again, the guy to meet him in the hole.
We told you to pay attention to these linebackers for Ohio, and they're making an impact early. First, it was Key Thompson shooting a gap and popping Cartavius Norton in the backfield. Can't bring him down, but his partner is able to get him to the turf. That Ohio defense swarming and playing great early. Man, nothing I love more, John, than some good linebacker play. We're seeing it early.
I couldn't tell. So both teams with a 3-and-out to start the game. Tyler Perkins, one of the best punters in the country, trying to pin Ohio in deep.
Wow.
And look at that just check up. That's why everyone is talking about Tyler Perkins. Pins Ohio inside the 5. When you can highlight special teams, why not? Iowa State with one of the best special teams unit in the country.
Intuitive sit to start and the all-electric ID4. It's the little things. It's a VW. Lease the 2023 all-electric ID4 Pro during Fall Fest for just $319 a month after an EV lease bonus and customer bonus.
The 3 for Me only at Chili's serves up bottomless drinks, bottomless chips and salsa, and a classic old-timer with cheese and fries for just $10.99. Hey, it's 3 for me, not 3 for us. It's my $10.99, it's my 3 for me. Hey, get out of here. Nope. Ooh, I can whack hands all day. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
Ohio head coach Tim Albin said, for us to have a chance, this has to be a low-scoring game. Right now, no score, first quarter, Iowa State and Ohio. Curtis Rourke, quarterback, pinned back into his own end zone as they start inside the 5. C.A. Bangura, the running back, and Rourke, he's the leader of this team. He's been in command. He's not really a rah-rah guy, but coaches said this week he actually stepped it up a notch and was getting on his offense saying, let's go.
There you see Rourke doing what he does best, checking that play.
1st and 10, they go on the ground with Bangura. What do you like about the quarterback, Curtis Rourke?
Well, I like the fact that he is the one in command. He's the one making the checks, calling the plays. It drives me nuts. I see so many quarterbacks in college football. They get the line, they look to the sideline. Coach, what play should I run? Right? No, he has control to do that. He calls the run, calls the pass. He goes to the line with about 2 or 3 plays. And then from there, he's the one. And that way, the offensive coordinator doesn't have to call the perfect play in the huddle. He waits till he gets on the line.
Picked up 3 on 1st down, brings up 2nd and 7. looking to throw on the run. And he completes it to Tyler Walton. And they pick up the first down. A gain of 13.
Good job just picking that thing up, a little bit of pressure off the quarterback's left side. Calm and cool. The tight end leak route wasn't there, goes to the second level and hits one of his favorite targets in Walton.
Rourke in complete command, taking his time between snaps, 1st and 10. That's Bangura again, battling forward. And he bangs forward over the 25. Dawn, you had a chance to talk to the quarterback, Rourke, this week. What did he say was different about practice?
Well, a couple things. For one, he said for the first time this season, he's a full go, 100% healthy, happy with where his body is. But he also pointed out for the first time this season, he had a full week of practice with those key playmakers who are also healthy. We just saw him complete a pass to one of those guys. He said, we've been able to iron out some communication issues because of it.
There's no substitute, Don, for experience and practice. No matter what level you're at, he feels like he finally has it.
On 2nd and 3, Bangura gets it again. And Ohio has been establishing the run. We will have our first penalty flag of the game. And hear from our referee, Henry Johns.
Sideline warning, Ohio. Sideline warning.
And you see Iowa State go back and substitute their main defensive line, led by big number 95, Dominique Orange up there. He's a sophomore, big guy. If you're going to play this 3-3-5 defense, you got to have those big guys in the middle. Tim Albin's a little upset about the warning there, but you see right in the middle, right over that center, Dominique Orange, number 95, wants to create some havoc in there.
1st and 10, play fake, rolling out to the right is Rourke. He's got some wheels, he can move, he's got some slippery action to him, and you see him pick up that first down. 11 yards on the scramble for Curtis Rourke.
Yeah, running isn't his MO, well, not something he does a ton of, but he's good at it. He's good enough at it where you have to respect it if you're a defense, but he goes and scans that back end, and it is all covered up. Look, there's white jerseys on green jerseys, so he said, hey, I'll just take this thing and pick up the first down.
Coming off of a torn ACL last season, they really wanted to focus on getting him into the weight room. They say he lifts like a tight end. He can compete and keep up with those guys.
Now, he looks like a tight end on the game, on the field before the game. I mean, he looks the part. He is every bit of 6'5" and 230-something pounds.
First charge, time out of the half. Ohio.
So Ohio will use their first timeout here in this first half. No score early on here in this first quarter. We'll come back to Athens, Ohio after this.
Let's go!
So slow right now. Sorry, mi amor. I tried downloading your shows, but our internet speeds are slower than normal.
Why?
Because our network gives priority to cell phone users.
Why?
Because your dad switched to T-Mobile home internet.
Why?
Yeah, honey. Why? Mommy's taking care of it when we get back.
Why get T-Mobile when Cox has 2 times faster download speeds during peak hours?
The 3 for Me only at Chili's serves up bottomless drinks, bottomless chips and salsa, and a classic old-timer with cheese and fries for just $10.99. Hey, it's 3 for me, not 3 for us. It's my $10.99, it's my 3 for me. Hey, get out of here. Nope. Ooh, I can whack hands all day. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
The Allstate Saturday Kickoff is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands.
The Bobcat leading his guys onto the field here at Peden Stadium. No score between Ohio and Iowa State here in this first quarter. John Schrippen alongside Rocky Boyman, Dawn Davenport. Well, for this offense for Ohio, Rocky, the turnovers have been the big issue. 8 turnovers so far this season.
Yeah, tied for worst in the country. And some have been unlucky. Some are something they got to clean up a little bit. But either way, you got Iowa State coming in here can't afford to turn the ball over. Last year when these two teams played up in Ames, Ohio turned the ball over 4 times, and that was a big reason they lost that game.
The ball security at the running back position was a big concern this week for the offense for Ohio. And they've got both running backs in the game, O'Shawn Allison and C.A. Bangura. First and 10. This time it's Allison. That's his first carry of the game. And he picks up 3.
And Iowa State likes to run this 3-3-5 stack defense. John Haycock, the defensive coordinator, he's been one of the innovators of this thing. He says he wouldn't play anything else, but you're seeing what the quarterback sees, and I think every offense comes up the line and says, well, they only got 3 D linemen. We should be able to run the ball. Well, not so fast, as Lee Corso would say. They have some dudes in there in white jerseys that fill those holes quick.
2nd and 7. Rourke off his back foot. A big catch by Tyler Walton. High points that ball, and he's got another first down.
That's a big boy throw right there by Curtis Rourke. Offensive line, veteran offensive line, gave him the protection and the time that he needed. He just scans the field and finds Tyler Walton. He just jumps out of the stadium, completes a catch over Miles Purchase.
Drive started on their own 3. Ohio now in Iowa State territory.
And Ohio looks to be in no hurry, right? They're slowing this thing down, being very methodical right now.
A 3-wide set for the Bobcats. 1st and 10. Fake the run, looking to pass, pressured, will dump off to Allison, the running back, and he just gets blown up. Caleb Bacon with the monster hit, a loss of 3.
And Caleb Bacon's one of those linebackers here, and that's how Iowa State can play this style of defense with 3-down linemen, because their linebackers are bigger. Today's football, you see a lot of linebackers, they're 220 pounds, 225. These are a little more old school, John. These guys are 240, 245, almost like extra D linemen out there, but as you can see right there from Bacon, these guys can run too.
Second and 13, they go back to the ground game. Allison trying to find a hole over that right side. He is upended. A good tackle by the cornerback, Miles Purchase. What's the key to attacking this 3-3-5 defense if you're the offense for Ohio?
Well, I think the first thing you got to have is a good offensive line. Ohio has that. You know, you can't just sit there and slug it out, because those big boys up there, those 3-down linemen, all go about 3 plus, 335. So I think from there, you got to remain balanced. Try to hit the perimeter, then come back inside. Hit the perimeter, come back inside.
First 3rd down of this drive for the Bobcats. 3rd and 12, empty backfield. Rourke flushed out, throws, incomplete. He was trying to find Jacoby Jones, one of the fastest receivers on this field for Ohio. TJ Tampa was the man there to break it up.
Yeah, TJ Tampa, he's a future NFL guy. He's got that length that you like at the cornerback position, but can still run and cover guys in space. Forced Rourke out to his left a little bit, but TJ Tampa shut him down. They always talk about D linemen don't grow on trees out there. Neither do corners that are 6'2" and can run and still have short area quickness. TJ Tampa is one of the best in the Big 12.
Jared Wheatley is on to punt for Ohio, and Dimitri Stanley, the deep man for the Cyclones. Over end punt. Stanley calls for the fair catch and will make the catch at the 15. A defensive battle here right now in Athens, Ohio. No score here in the first. Good crowd here at Peden Stadium. No score between Ohio and Iowa State here. 5:29 to play here in this first quarter. Anthony Becht, former tight end in the NFL, head coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks in the XFL, is a proud father of Rocco Becht as they run the ball with Sama. No gain there on first down. Today, he's a fan.
Yeah, and he has the look, John, of a fan whose son plays quarterback, right? That nervous, pensive look. Anthony's a good friend of mine. We worked together doing college football for about 4 seasons, still talk a lot. And what a great job he's done as the Battlehawks coach. But right now, he is worried about number 3 and seeing how he can do out there. Very proud of him, though.
Iowa State, 4 plays, they've all been on the ground. This will be the first throw from Beck. He will complete it to Jaden Higgins. He's the Eastern Kentucky transfer. He picks up 4. Now, Higgins had a breakout game last week. 8 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown against Iowa.
And he's going to have to be even bigger with Jalen Knoll out. Also, Dimitri Stanley, number 14, is the guy taking the place of Knoll. And here we go, a big 3rd down here. He's got to find one of those guys.
Carson Hansen will go wide to the top of the screen on 3rd and 6. Beck, strong throw. He's got his tight end. A huge completion. Aiden Bitter over the middle, wide open, 45-yard pickup for the wide receiver.
And I just love this whole play design. They run the running back outside, adjust that defense. You can see they're pointing around the defense and saying, who's got that guy? Who's got that guy over there? Well, they don't worry about number 85, Bitter. It's a nice shot at, good route right up the seam, curves that thing back in, and what a dart thrown by Rocco Beck.
Longest play from scrimmage this season for Iowa State. Play action, looking to pass. Beck, the strong throw, but overthrows his receiver. That was the tight end, Benjamin Bramer. And we do have a flag.
Play they ran against UNI first game of the year. They were able to connect. Bramer, freshman tight end, 6'7", big target, just overthrew him.
2nd down.
So they pick up the flag.
And these tight ends are the focal point of this offense. Bramer's going to go out and get a rest here, but you'll see Gabe Burke, you'll see Easton Dean, you'll see Tyler Moore. They got 4 different guys back there. And we see Jalen Knoll out there. He's wishing he could get in that game, not feeling well. That's why I think we'll see even more emphasis on these tight ends. It's up to Ohio to find where these guys align and get someone that can cover them.
First incompletion from Rocco Beck. Moving on that front line on 2nd down. And Sama trying to push. No gain.
And Abu Sama, he's a true freshman. He's probably the more electric running back of the two. 200 pounds, 5'11". He's got a chance to be special, but Ohio did a great job swallowing him up early here in this game. All right, here we go. We got some tight ends on the field. We got Ben Bramer, 3rd receiver from the top. Might be a target Beck will look to here on this 3rd down.
3rd and 10. Beck looking left, now scans to the right, throws, completes. And he's going to be short of the marker. He picked up 9, finding Jaden Higgins.
And now the question is, does Iowa State go? The offensive line's looking over the sideline. They want to go. Rocco Beck wants to go. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do, John. They're bringing in 2 more tight ends. Easton Dean comes in the game. Gabe Burkle comes in the game. So you might see him pound this. Yeah.
The big boy package. On the season, Iowa State is 2 for 3 on 4th downs. 4th and 1. Beck under center. It's a QB sneak, and he picks it up himself.
Yeah, I think the whole stadium knew what was coming right there, right? Well, Jalen Hurts ran that a few times on Thursday night, the quarterback sneak, but behind this offensive line, and this offensive line was the focal point of the offseason. They bring in a new offensive line coach, bring in a new weight room coach. They wanted this offensive line to get bigger and more physical, and so far this year, they have. Look at those big boys up there.
Under 2 minutes to play here in this first quarter. On the ground, they go with Norton, and Norton cannot get anything going. A loss of 3. All right, here's our featured games on ESPN Plus tonight. Oklahoma State, they host South Alabama. That's a good South Alabama team, so that could be a good game. We had them earlier against Tulane. Texas Tech, they host Tarleton State, and Auburn hosts Samford. Coverage of all 3 games begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. To get ESPN Plus, you go to ESPNplus.com, or you can download the ESPN app. 2nd and 13. Beck looked like a broken play. He's going to scramble himself. And he picks up 4. They'll bring up a 3rd and long.
I think that was supposed to be a bubble screen to the outside, the top of the screen to Dimitri Stanley. Something happened with either the communication or just the operation. Beck went forward and got what he could here. Here we go again. We see Ben Bramer coming back in the game, the big freshman tight end, 6'7". Aiden Bitters down here at the bottom. He had the big catch earlier.
Rocco, we also got to remember, 3rd start for Rocco Beck. 3rd different style of defense he's also facing. Hasn't seen a defense like this before.
Oh, on the jump.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's the left tackle. James Neal backs him up 5 yards.
So you pick up the 4th down here. And ever since then, it's just been a lot of going backwards. Got to find a way, reach into that playbook, get your best play. I think this is something where the emphasis isn't trying to get 14 yards here. Just try to get 10 and set yourself up for maybe a closer 4th down opportunity if you have to.
Play of the drive on 3rd and 14. Incomplete. Was looking for Bitter again. That'll do it for the first quarter here in Athens, Ohio. No score between Ohio and Iowa State. Matt Campbell, head coach, will be on the mic with Don Davenport when we come back.
Welcome back. 1 quarter now in the books here in Athens, Ohio. Defensive battle, just like head coach Matt Campbell likes it. Coach, offensively, what did you see that caused that drive to stall right there?
Well, you know, we had a penalty in the red zone. We were inefficient right now in the running game. And, you know, Rocco did a great job. The huge play by Rocco to kind of switch the tide of the field position, which was awesome. But we got to be better in our running game. We got to be able to find and generate some running game right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks so much.
And Don, to Coach Campbell's point, they've had 8 rushes so far today, only 3 for positive yards. 2 of those have come from Rocco Beck. Now they'll attempt a field goal. Chase Contreras will come on for a 47-yard field goal attempt. Good hold, kick is up. Plenty of leg, but no good. So Iowa State comes away with no points.
Yeah, and it looked like the holder was a little bit messed up. The holder was not able to get the laces around until the very last minute. And I don't know how much that affects the kick or not, but that thing just kind of hovered, and then as it got to the field goal post, it went wide right.
So Tyler Perkins, the punter, he is the holder for the special teams unit. And now Ohio will get the ball back here in the second quarter. 3 wide receiver set for Curtis Rourke. Looked like a trickeration. Jacoby Jones now is back to Allison, the running back. And Iowa State said, come on now.
The little backyard play didn't work. And they were trying to go for the home run, flip it back to flea flicker. We actually saw that a couple weeks ago. Tulane ran this sort of play here, kind of a vogue thing in football these days. It wasn't there, he kind of decides to check it down. But it's funny, Rourke's up there checking things and doing this and that Iowa State defense is staying right where they are, saying, hey, come on, you got to play us.
Second and 10, Allison pushes forward, picks up 4. What do you think about the pace of play for Ohio with Rourke taking his time under center?
I think it absolutely fits what Ohio wants to do. You know, they're not an offense, especially against this defense that's going to put up 45 points today. So they want to be methodical. They want to put together 10, 12 play drives, control the clock. I think right now this game is playing into exactly how they want it. They just got to get some points here. Big hole in the middle of the field here. See if they bring a crosser in.
3rd and 6. Rourke trying to take a deep shot down the sideline. Incomplete. Sam Wigless And here come the penalty flags as Jeremiah Cooper was the man in coverage.
I think they're going to get Cooper for the interference penalty
Pass
here.
interference. Defense, number 4. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And I thought that Rourke did actually have the middle of the field open, but he chooses to go down the right sideline. And Jeremiah Cooper is one of the best safeties in the country. I mean, he's got 3 interceptions on the year. I don't know, that wasn't that egregious.
You ain't see that two-handed push? Come on now. I know, you're a defensive guy. It's all right. Allison somehow still on his feet, eventually gets broken down. As O'Shawn Allison, we talked about, he missed all of last year with a shoulder injury. And coaches said he actually had a different perspective, being on the sideline, seeing things, missing playing. And he said now he's a guy who's really bought into what we're trying to teach here.
Yeah, it kind of helped his attitude a little bit, a little more gratitude for the coaches and what they're doing, and knowing that they have his best interests at heart. And he seems to really have fallen in line, and he's off to a nice season so far here early.
2nd and 6. Rourke, strong throw over the middle, on the money to Jacoby Jones. And you see the arm strength from Curtis Rourke there as Jones continues to push. And the crowd here at Peden Stadium loving it.
Crowd loves it.
22-yard pickup.
And look at this strike that Rourke throws. A little play action, find receiver, bam. Ball comes out in the perfect spot. I'm really seeing, I think, the same thing Rourke's seeing, and that's some area, some space, kind of that low, intermediate middle of the field. You know, as they're kind of packing that line to stop the run there, there's some holes in there and about 8 to 15 yards right over the middle.
Coming into the day, Iowa State led the Big 12 and only allowing 4 plays of 20 or more yards. That's the 5th play they've allowed this season. Rourke, plenty of time, will throw and overthrows receiver Tyler Walton. Curtis Rourke, kind of in his blood to be the quarterback here at Ohio. His older brother Nathan was the quarterback here, 60 passing touchdowns. But to your point, Rocky, Curtis, the younger brother, took him a long time to grow. And because of that, he was under the radar. And the coaching staff said, he's the steal of the decade. We got him at quarterback here at Ohio.
Yeah, Curtis Rourke in high school was about 5'10", right? And then all of a sudden he grows up to 6'5". Like, oh, look at the tools on this guy. But I mean, Nathan Rourke, his brother, caught a bunch of his games. An exceptional quarterback now for Jaguars.
Allison picks up maybe 2 over that left side. Dom, what do you got?
Yeah, so you want to know what growing up in the Rourke household was like with Nathan and Curtis? Yeah, pretty competitive, ultra competitive. Curtis told me those two would battle it out in any sport, but hoops was actually the easiest because they could just go outside in the driveway, quick pickup game. It would always get out of hand, and Curtis admitted that he was usually on the losing end because you guys talk about it. Took him a while to grow. He said, yeah, not anymore though. Look at him now.
If he played now, I bet he's throwing dunks down at 6'5".
In your face.
One thing about these quarterbacks, they're always competitive.
3rd and 9, pressured. Incomplete. He was looking for Wiggless, but he was triple covered. Tyler Owen Edom was there on defense for the Cyclones.
Good job of coverage there by Iowa State.
Ohio's been using 2 kickers. Alex Casey and Gianni Spedic, trying to figure out who will be the guy to come out to kick for them, and it's going to be Spedic. That's because Casey last week was hurt pregame at FAU. So we don't know what his injury update is, but he won't be out there. 42-yard field goal attempt. High snap, Spedic, the kick, and he misses it wide left. We are still scoreless here in Athens. A Big 12 MAC showdown. We'll be back after this. We got 2 ESPN primetime games tonight. Number 11, Tennessee. They're in the Swamp to take on Florida at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Then Coach Prime, number 18, Colorado. They square off against rival Colorado State in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. That is the game everybody in the entire country will be watching. You think the team will come out wearing shades and a hat?
I think so. From what we've seen on social media, everybody got a pair of shades, and it goes back to Jay Norvell, the Colorado State's coach's comments.
Complete to the running back, Abu Sama. A first down for Iowa State after picking up 12.
That's a really nice throw right there by Beck. I mean, you're rolling out to your right, but going backwards and able to put that ball on a nice line there. Play action, getting the ball to Sama, just plopping it right in there. An excellent throw. Taking out the O-line coach. I think that was Ryan Clanton.
The run, and this one's going nowhere. The emphasis for Iowa State, establish the run game. But Sama right there.
And right now, this Ohio defensive front is having its way with Iowa State's offensive line. I think they expected to come in here and assert some dominance up front, and it just hasn't happened. Look at Ryan Buell just splitting two guys and making a tackle for loss. Those guys up front in white jerseys got to get their mindset together here because it is not working out the way they thought it would here early.
Bobcats, that's already their third tackle for loss. On the ground, Norton tries to go inside. Shane Bonner there with the stop for Ohio.
Yeah, this Ohio defense, John, has a real chip on its shoulder. You know, the offense last year, coming into this season, they get all the hype, and Rourke's coming back and all this, and the defense saying, hey, what about us? And Tim Albin told us this week that he even said it in MAC Media Days. This defense is going to be really good, and so far this year, they have delivered, playing well here today.
Also, this is the first road test of the season for this very young Iowa State team. Dimitri Stanley, the man in motion on 3rd and 13. Beck has room in front. And look at the wheels. But he stopped short of the first down marker. He tried to cut it back in the middle of the field. And Bryce Houston with his 7th tackle of the game already here in this first half.
I love it when the linebackers show up to play. I mean, there was a lot of green grass there for Beck, but Bryce Houston showing everyone how he can run, tracking him down, forcing a punt.
I thought that would have been an easy first down.
Yeah, looked like it, but I think that speed Ohio's defense has shut her down.
Tyler Perkins showing off the booming leg. Will back up Tyler Walton. And he is stuffed inside the 10. A 50-yard punt and a loss of 1 on the return. Tyler Perkins continues to show off his leg this season for Iowa State. The Athens Lunatic Asylum, it was built back in 1868. It was active from 1874 to 1993. Now, because of that, it is said that there are many ghosts haunting Athens, Ohio. Many people have documented it. We asked actually Tim Albin about it. He said, I've actually never seen a ghost, but people have embraced it here. That one of the best Halloween celebrations in the entire country will be here in Athens, Ohio. Rocky, have you thought about your Halloween costume yet?
I haven't yet, but I know I'm from Ohio, live in Cincinnati my whole life. I know that Halloween up here in Athens is one big party. Now, let me tell you.
Ohio would love to get the party started on the scoreboard. No score here in the second quarter. C.A. Bangura, neither team really been able to establish an effective run game early on.
Really haven't. Ohio's done probably a little bit better job than Iowa State has, but still nothing to... I still don't think that Ohio should get away from it, because I think how you beat this defense here is you force more and more guys to come up in the box here to stop that run. That's going to loosen up some areas, as I was mentioning earlier, that middle of the field. I've seen that a few times. I want to see them run something deep and run some crossers right about that 8 to 12-yard range. I think there's some openings there.
2nd and 7. Rourke pressured, avoids the rush on the run, overthrows his receiver Chase Hendricks. It was Jacob Ellis, the man flushing Rourke out of the pocket.
Both these offenses are just very one-dimensional right now, and you can tell how that plays into the secondary. They're not fearful to run. You know, Jeremiah Cooper's the safety for Iowa State. He's a big part of that run game, but right now he doesn't have to come up in there. He can stay back and do what he does best, which is help on that pass.
So this is what Iowa State wants. They want him to force him into a passing situation. They've done that here on 3rd and 7. Rourke looking like a maestro, directing his orchestra. He's going to try to run for this one, crossing the 20, and he's going to have a first down. It was 3rd and 7, and he picked up 12.
Good decision by Rourke. And that's the thing we talked about, right? That they can't have the turnovers, right? And sometimes a quarterback, when you got a big arm and you're a player like him, you want to force that ball. Nope, just tuck it and just pick up the first down with your legs. Good job.
Second rush of the game for Rourke, both 12 yards. This is Bangura, and he just runs into a brick wall. That defensive front for the Cyclones has been there all day.
Yeah, there's not a white jersey moving backwards at all. They're moving just lateral and tight right down that line. That's how the zone works, is you want to try to keep going to the outside, and hopefully some daylight opens up in there, but there's nothing opening up.
If you just joined us, you haven't missed much. 2 missed field goals, 2 punts each team, and we have no score here in the second quarter. On 2nd and 10, Rourke has some space, and he will tuck it again. Now, Miles Purchase was in man-to-man coverage, had his back turned to the quarterback, didn't even see the quarterback breaking out of the pocket. That allowed Rourke to pick up 11.
And that's something that this offensive staff, Scott Isford and the offensive coordinator, is going to notice. You know, some man-to-man going on the outside. Actually, it was zone. It was just that Purchase got flipped around here, and Curtis Rourke, a good job picking it up. If they're going to give it to you, take it. That's what offense really comes down to. Take what the defense gives you. If they're going to drop everyone back and allow your quarterback to run forward for 10 yards, take it. Make them stop it.
Under 6 minutes to play here in this first half. No score. Rourke looking to throw. Will check it down to his running back, Bangura, and he is upended. There's Purchase with the big tackle after a gain of 3.
It's a hard way to gain 3 yards. You know, wow, a lot going on. Passes to the perimeter, and running back gets upended. Good job by number 5 coming up. I always love those corners that they're not afraid to come up and hit you up in that shallow flat.
Purchase said, I hear you guys talking about me. Let me show you how I play D.
Yeah.
O'Shawn Allison, the man in the backfield now for the Bobcats.
Some sort of route combination up to the top of that trip set. And
they do give it to Allison. Look at him weaving his way through that line, following his blockers, picks up 5. We'll have a 3rd and short coming up.
Maybe that's the answer with Allison being a little bit smaller. He's that guy that just needs a little crease, just a little bit of daylight, can slip through it. He's a slippery running back. As you mentioned earlier, John, they're glad to have back. Missed better parts of 3 seasons with injuries, and coming back here in his 5th year, playing pretty well.
3rd and 2, if you're Ohio, what are you looking for here?
I think what Rourke does all the time. He's counting the box. He's seeing the matchups here. Now they're bringing an extra guy in the box. I think this should be a pass here. Man-to-man coverage on the outside.
3rd and 2. They're going to run with it. This is Allison. And Allison has given Ohio offense a different perspective at the running back spot. He's got the first down after picking up 6.
And I think it was a good decision by Rourke there. The safety comes down, but he comes down to the offense's right side, so Rourke calls that run to the offense's left. And he got some good push. Finally some good push by that Ohio offensive line up front.
Guys, Curtis Rourke talked to me about Allison this week. Feels like maybe people have forgotten what this guy can do. He said, I remember what he can do because I was a freshman and I got to sit and watch him work the last time he was on the field. Glad to have him back.
Oh, he's out here working now. They're feeding him on this drive. A new set of downs for this Bobcats offense. 1st and 10. Allison gets the rock again. Look at that jump cut to the left. Makes another guy miss. Tackled short of the 45 after picking up 5. It was Jacob Ellis, eventually the guy bringing him down.
And that was great vision, because that thing was designed to go in the interior in those A-gaps, but Allison just saw some space to the outside and bounced it out there. You know, the field position game, Ohio has not been winning. Their special teams is lacking a little bit, and they're putting together some nice drives. Just need to get some points out of it.
Allison on this drive, 3 carries for 16 yards. Looking to throw. Rourke has a man. Oh! With the hit stick. TJ Tampa. You're going to feel that one.
I told you earlier, TJ Tampa is a next-level player. He's going to play in the NFL, and I think you saw why there. That wasn't even his guy, but he saw the ball in the air, reacted to it, and separated man from ball.
That's Sam Wiglis. He is still down after this play. What a hit, Rocky.
And I think the ball just floated a little bit. Had he gotten the ball down and driven it into the chest, hit him right between the numbers, he could have held on to it, but that defensive back, Tampa, saw those ribs open and separated the ball here. We'll get an injury timeout here, and we're back with more here from Ohio.
Hey, is that the new iPhone 15 Pro?
Yeah, got it at T-Mobile. Hey, be right back.
Whoa, I love that titanium. You need to go to T-Mobile, where new and existing customers can get iPhone 15 Pro on them. And with their Best Gold 5G plan, you have the freedom to upgrade every year. You're very wise, Reflection Common, and you're very handsome, Real Common.
At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium on us now and the freedom to upgrade every year.
Welcome to life in the new open web, where innovation keeps pace with imagination and the future arrives daily. Viant is pioneering a new approach to media, combining AI with human insight, creating new ways to reach customers and new standards of measurement, both on and offline. Viant, built for the new open web, built for now.
Sam Wiglis, as he got helped off the field. Take a look at this. Getting the crowd fired up. He's the Ohio State former walk-on transferring in, and they say he's the guy that leads by example. Throwing it back, and that play is not going anywhere. O'Shawn Allison, the huge loss. Joey Peterson, a tackle for loss, 8-yard loss.
It's almost like a hook and lateral sort of situation where you're catching it and then trying to almost option pitching it out. And I think what you're seeing, John, is neither one of these offenses have found anything that can consistently work, so they're pulling some tricks out of the bag. But Jeremiah Cooper, we talked about him, one of the best safeties so far this college football season that I've seen, making another big play.
So another punt for Wheatley. Stanley awaits on his own 15. He'll let it bounce in front of him, and he'll check up. And they will down it at the 12. So the battle of field position continues. Who will get on the scoreboard first? Under 2 minutes to play in this first half, no score. Welcome back to the All-State Saturday Kickoff here in Athens, Ohio, alongside Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport. I'm John Triffin. No score between Ohio and Iowa State. Let's check in on the Fansville College Football Update, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Top 25 action around the country. How about that one, Rocky, on the bottom right? Kansas State behind against Missouri in the second quarter.
Kansas State, good team.
LSU handling business, up 17-0. Iowa State from their own 12 on the run, throws, completes to the tight end, Benjamin Bramer. And Iowa State has got a first down. All right, Don, we talked about in the open about the illness that's been going around, and I'll get to you in a second as Iowa State is looking to use some tempo here. Under 2 minutes to play in this first half. Beck, strong throw, nice run after the catch, completes that one to Aiden Bitter.
And I think this is a good idea. They're in a funk right now. I like this, going up tempo, try to get some energy back in that offense. This is good stuff.
7-yard pickup there, brings up 2nd and 3. Bobbled snap ball on the ground, and Beck just gets back on top of it.
It's just 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? 2 nice plays in a row. You got some momentum, and then the fumble, just a momentum killer.
So a timeout.
First charge,
Iowa
timeout
State.
and a half. Iowa State, 30 seconds.
A little bit low.
All right, Don, now that we have some time, we talked about the illness going around with Iowa State. What have you noticed on the sideline?
Yeah, and it was just 5 or 6 players that suffered some food poisoning. But I'll tell you this, it feels like Iowa State is just off on this sideline, lacking energy. There's not a whole lot of conversations between players, at least on the offensive side of the ball, in between plays, almost lethargic. And head coach Matt Campbell came over during that last possession. You know, they had quite a bit of time here on the sideline with Ohio having the ball for so long. He talked to his offensive line with Jared Hufford, the leader of that offensive line, and then went and talked to his running backs too. You can see they're trying to figure out what's going on, what they can do to get this run game going and maybe grab some energy.
I think it's a few things. You're coming off a big emotional rivalry game like the Cyhawk game last week. You're coming to a stadium you're not used to playing in, but either way, Don, they got to get out of this thing.
3rd and 7. Becht off his back foot. One-on-one coverage on the outside. Incomplete. Jaden Higgins was trying to make the over-the-shoulder catch. And Justin Burchett, good coverage on D.
And I like the play call. When you're in a funk, you need a big play. That's what gets you out of a funk, is a big play. Great release here by Higgins and a perfect ball throw. Just can't quite bring it down. A good job by Justin Burchett, the corner at the last minute, pulling that left arm down. Affected the catch a little bit and forced a punt.
See the leg of Perkins, a fair catch called for by Walton. ESPN Plus is the home for more than 30 MAC football games. Here are the featured matchups. Toledo, they host San Jose State tonight at 7 Eastern. Next Saturday afternoon, Toledo is back at the Glass Bowl to take on Western Michigan at 1:30 Eastern. And Ohio squares off against Bowling Green at 3:30 Eastern. If you're a MAC fan, you know you gotta have it. Head on over to ESPNplus.com and sign up to get in on the action.
And I'd like for Ohio right now to, let's get some high percentage throws. There's only a minute left here, but let's try to get a couple going here, get some momentum. And at some point, probably gonna have to take some sort of chunk yardage shot here.
And remember, when that ball was on the ground, Iowa State called the timeout. It now gives 1 minute and 1 second to Ohio with the ball. 2 timeouts remaining in this first half. Three wide receivers on the bottom of the screen for Rourke. Crossing pattern incomplete. We're looking for the tight end, Tyler Foster, but Malik Verdon was there to bat it away.
And there's pressure in Rourke's face. I think he was trying to bide some time to get Wiggless, his favorite target, going down the middle of the field like we talked about, but pressure in his face forced him outside. He had to throw to a guy who just flat wasn't open.
And now Verdon, who batted that ball away, is now down at the end of that play on the turf. Don, what can you tell us?
Hey guys, yeah, we're doing this extra yard for teachers, and we've all had those certain teachers in our life, right, who help to change our trajectory, inspire us. How about Ohio freshman tight end Mason Williams? He's seen that impact, and he wants to do the same. He wants to become a high school physics and physical science teacher, inspired by his high school teacher. Shout out there to Mr. Baker, but also by his brother, Austin Williams, you saw in that picture, who is also a science teacher at Field High School in Ohio. His major, guys, integrated science education. Guess what you do with that? You teach.
Good stuff, Don. Looking past is Rourke. That left side opens up. And a late hit out of bounds, and here come the penalty flags. Zachary Lovett was the guy to bring him down right at that Iowa State bench.
Officials are always sensitive to this kind of thing, especially when it's the quarterback. Didn't really see much of a shove. It was just, I think, just kind of the continuation right there. I think it would have been better had he just kind of thrown his hands up in the air and said, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. That might not have thrown the flag there, but again, I don't think it was that egregious of a penalty.
There is no foul. Quarterback tripped over the chains as he went out of bounds. Third down.
And I like him going and reversing that call because every time a guy goes out of bounds and falls, it can't always be a penalty. That was the right call.
Now, for 10 years, ESPN has supported the College Football Playoff Foundation, bringing the college football community together during Extra Yard for Teachers Week to celebrate and honor great teachers. Since its inception, the College Football Foundation has recognized over 500,000 educators. Now, for more, follow at CFP Extra Yard.
Sam Wiggles, number 2 receiver from the bottom of your screen. He's got the wiggle. Let's see if he can find a way to get open here.
49 seconds to play in this first half, 3rd and 2. Bangura, he will pick up the first down, and remember, inside the final 2 minutes of each half, the clock will stop as they reset the chain. So the ball is spotted and the clock will restart. Click down. Under 40 seconds to play now in this first half.
See Tyler Foster, 6'7" tight end coming in. He's second from the top.
And now an offensive player is down for Ohio. Looks like the right guard, Christoph Atkinson.
He's a 5th-year senior, but he's kind of
Ohio's taking
a new guy
second time out
on this line.
To avoid the 10-second runoff. 30-second timeout.
So a 30-second timeout to tend to Atkinson. This season, for every field goal and an extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate. So you got to wonder, are they going to put any time back on the clock? It was 44 seconds when they spotted the ball, and they didn't notice that the player was down until 32 seconds.
So that either way, they're going to be with a backup right guard for at least a play, as Atkinson is going to have to come out. So critical right here with 32 seconds, 1st and 10. You got to pick up a chunk yardage play.
So now 1 timeout remaining in this first half for Ohio. 4 wide receiver set.
They stop him here. Look for Iowa State to start using some of those timeouts.
Rourke with protection. A deep throw down the sideline. Incomplete, but we do have a penalty flag. Jacoby Jones. Wait, did he come down with that?
I think he did. The ball bobbled and popped out, but I think as he's on the ground, he's able to haul it back in. What an incredible catch.
I saw the ball pop. I didn't know if he came down with it.
And this was a shot all the way, finding Jacoby Jones. Way to come back for the ball. And I don't think that ball hit the ground.
Ruling on the field. It's a completed catch for a first down. Pass interference. Defense, number 10. Penalty is declined. The clock will start on my signal.
So Darian Porter, pass interference, that was declined because they're going to say this is a completed catch, Rocky.
Ruling on the field of a completed pass is under further review.
Oh, that tip of the nose of that ball might have hit there. That'd be unfortunate. The biggest play of the game for either side.
He sold it, though. So as it stands, it's a 41-yard catch. But it did look like the tip of the nose hit the turf. It probably will come back.
Yeah, that first angle there, it looks like he was able to catch it, but from behind, and right there can't see much, but it's that third angle where it looked like the nose of the football, this one.
And that's Jacoby Jones. He's the fastest receiver on this team. They put those kind of GPS monitors on the guys. He has clocked as high as 23 miles per hour. He just ran right by Darian Porter, and Porter just had to grab him.
Now, the good news for Ohio, even if they don't get the catch, which I don't think they will get the 15 yards for the pass interference.
After further review, the pass was incomplete. The foul for defensive pass interference, number 10 of Iowa State, will be enforced from the previous spot. That foul is from the 33-yard line Be 1st and 10. Ohio at the 48.
If only this was the NFL, that ball would be on about the 25-yard line. I mean, that's the biggest difference in penalties between college and pro there is. The pass interference, where in the NFL it's a spot foul. This one's just 15 yards. But nevertheless, that's still something positive for this Ohio team. I'd look for him to come back and take another shot. You got to get some yards here.
Are defensive guys in college taught to make that penalty if you think you're going to get beat?
Not in that situation. Now, if guys flat got you beat and he's got a step on you, yeah, go ahead and grab him, pull him down. The coach will tell you that every time. Right there, that was just, he didn't have to commit the penalty. He just kind of got twisted around. It was really just a great job by Jacoby Jones fighting and contorting his body to get that ball in the air.
26 seconds to play in this first half. 1 timeout for Ohio.
Do it again. Hit him up top.
1st and 10. Rourke. A dangerous pass, incomplete. We're trying to find Wiggless over the middle. And that was Miles Purchase getting his hand out.
It looked like Rourke didn't even really drive into this ball. Kind of floated out of his hand. I'm not sure would have made a difference because it was so well covered. But he had the pressure at his feet. You can see when he can't step in that throw, the velocity, that ball just dies in the air.
Giving instructions for his running back, Bangura. Ball on the 48, 2nd and 10. Rourke, strong throw across the field. He finds Wiggless falling out of bounds. Picks up 10.
That's good. Pick up positive yards, move the chains, clock stops. And there's time for about 3 more plays here. Try to get that ball at least down to about the 20-25-yard line. Now, as we talked about, Ohio's special teams or kicking game, not the best right now, so you want to get this thing as close as you can and try to get a last-second field goal.
Ball on the Iowa State 42, 1st and 10. Rourke, he's looking for a deep shot. And incomplete, Jacoby Jones. That time it was great coverage by Jontez Williams.
I like the idea. Go back to your fastest player. Would you say 23 miles per hour?
23.
Yeah, I'd throw it to him too. The ball was just a little bit overthrown. And Rourke, I mean, he's a 69% completion guy last year. That one, a couple times a day, I think the ball has sailed high and far on him for whatever reason.
Okay, 9 seconds with a timeout. What can you run here?
I think you can. I think the whole field is open to you with that timeout. You know, and obviously with the clock stopping too to move the chains. So, but you need to pick up a good 15, 20 yards here. Call that timeout.
Rourke trying to get a big chunk. He's hit as he throws. It's a wobbler, incomplete. That was Tyler Onedum. He got the hit on Rourke, and that forced the wobbly pass. 1 second to play here in this first half.
And Rourke's roughed up a little bit. Just a 3-man rush with a little bit of spy.
Final charge. Team time.
Great job by Onedum, just
seconds.
being relentless. A couple of times we've seen Rourke escape the pocket here and pick up some yards. Number 11 said, ain't happening.
So Ohio will use their final timeout here in this first half. How about Monday Night Football coming up this week? We got two Monday Night Football matchups. Derek Carr, he leads the Saints against #1 overall pick Bryce Young and the Panthers. Special start time, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. Then we got Nick Chubb and the Browns taking on TJ Watt and the rival Steelers. That's at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC and ESPN+. It's one of those nights where you got to get the extra TV set up, maybe your iPads. You got two going on at the same time.
That's right. I'll tell you what, Browns took care of my hometown Bengals with authority last week. They look like, the Bengals made them look like one of the best teams in the league. We'll see if they can keep it going. They got a good squad.
Maybe the Bengals had too much of that chili. 1 second to play. You see the defensive alignment for Iowa State guarding that goal line. Rourke, a heave at the end of the half, and it is batted down, incomplete. That is Freeler, who batted it down to the turf for Iowa State. Now the Cyclones will receive the second half kickoff. Let's see which offense gets on track here at the half. No score between Iowa State and Ohio.
Yeah, some adjustments need to happen here at halftime. Try to figure out what they can do. I think for Iowa State, Matt Campbell has got to find a way to reach deep down inside his team and get these guys to play some more inspired football. They've just been a little bit flat this first half, as we've described.
Ohio told us, we have to keep this a low-scoring game to have any kind of a chance. Well, they've done their job in the first half. Our halftime score, Iowa State 0, Ohio 0. Coming up at Halftime Report, right after the messages, Matt Barry and Dan Mullen will be in the studio to get you caught up on everything going on across the college football landscape on this amazing Saturday. Welcome back to the All-State Saturday kickoff here in Athens, Ohio. What would a Saturday halftime tradition be without a band? The Marching 110s from Ohio putting on a show at half in front of the crowd here. No score. This is really the most action we have seen on the field today between Ohio and Iowa State. A Big 12 MAC showdown. And just like a halftime tradition, how about another Ohio tradition? The Big 33, Matt Campbell, tight end on the left, our own Rocky Boyman. Okay, I'm not from Ohio. What is the Big 33? Why is it such a big deal?
So for the longest time, it's been an Ohio All-Star versus Pennsylvania All-Star game, and there's been some great players that played in it. You know, LeVar Arrington, Nate Clements was on my team along with Matt Campbell. How about the frosty tips for Matt Campbell too, though? But he was a great player, and it was fun playing with him here. I've known him over the years, and now one of the best coaches in the Big 12. Fun stuff.
That is awesome. All right, we got to talk about linebacker play, because really it was both defenses dominating the first half. And for Ohio, they had a linebacker 9 tackles. Like, is that even possible in the first half?
In the first half against a Big 12 team, but that's what Bryce Houston has done. He's come out here, we hyped him up, we said this was going to be a big factor in the game, and Mr. Houston has shown to be just that. I mean, coming, filling those lanes as a linebacker, attacking, not waiting back, not waiting for him to get 2-3 yards down the field. No, plays in the backfield, running around making tackles. 9 today. He just made it really, really tough for this Iowa State offense to get going.
Take a look at some of the stats for the first half. The last time Ohio has held a Power 5 opponent to less than 100 yards of offense, you gotta go back to 2016. They held Kansas to 21 yards in the first half in that game. They would go on to win. 97 yards of total offense for Iowa State.
There's two ways to look at this. The offenses haven't produced, or boy, the defenses for both teams are playing really, really good. So I think right now, I think this is a game, John, where turnovers play huge, right? Where each team's offense can't get much going, but who can get that extra possession, maybe get some momentum off of it, I think that'll be key.
All right, let's toss it down to the third member of our crew, Dawn Davenport, who had a chance to check in with both coaches.
I did, John. Be patient. That was Ohio head coach Tim Albin's message to his guys at the half. He said at some point something is going to hit offensively. We just have to make sure Curtis does a good job of putting them in a position to finish and execute drives at that point. He pointed out Ohio is not beating Ohio. No penalties, guys, and that has been big for them to be in this game in this second half. Now, as for Iowa State, I talked to head coach Matt Campbell. It will be Rocco Beck. He'll stay at quarterback for the second half. Remember, he was one of those players that got food poisoning last night and was up all night sick. He said, we've got to do some different things on offense. They got to spread things out, find a way to stretch the field vertically this half to be able to get some things going.
Dawn, that's a great point. You talked about in the open, Dawn said 5 or 6 players were sick with food poisoning last night. Rocky, you got to wonder how many other players could that be affecting that are on the field the way Iowa State looked in that first half?
I think it's a great point you make. I mean, how is it just 5 selective players? You like to think the way they're playing, especially offensively, and just as a team looking flat, you wonder if that's something that affected more than just 5 guys on that squad. But as Don reported, Tim Albin, that's their motto. Ohio doesn't beat Ohio. Great job. No penalties, also no turnovers. Let's see if they can keep that thing going in the second half.
So Iowa State will receive the ball first here to start this third quarter. This is Norton from his own 5. Has some blockers over the right side, has a crease, and will cross the 35, eventually stepping out at the 40. And we do have a penalty flag down at the 30-yard line.
During the return, holding. Return team number 87, 10 yards from spotted foul, first down.
So So that was a 38-yard return, but the penalty will negate that. Well, Rocco Becht, the freshman, making his 3rd start. Take a look at the bloodlines. His father, Anthony Becht, was a tight end starting at West Virginia, Rocky.
Yeah, he was one of the best. 2001 draft class, played a bunch of years in the NFL. And he was one of those big physical tight ends, but then also ESPN analyst. I worked with him for 4 years. We spent on the road, had a lot of good times. I'll tell you about some of them maybe later. And now the head coach of the Battlehawks of St. Louis, and now in the role of nervous dad, watching his son play quarterback.
Norton coming off of that return. He has that crease over the left side. And a good run, has himself 11 yards for a first down. I covered the XFL. And Anthony Becht is coaching one of the most electric teams in St. Louis. They pack the dome. They get over 35,000 fans per game. He is one of the best head coaches in the XFL.
And he's very appreciative of those fans in St. Louis. And they what a fantastic opening season they had, and really doing a good job out there.
And it has a great schedule, so he can come and watch his son play quarterback for Iowa State every Saturday. Yeah.
Looking to throw, and that one's picked off. Torrey Cox Jr. with the interception. Inside the 25, brought down. And Ohio. And after the play, some pushing and shoving. No penalty flags come out, and it's Ohio.
As we talked about just now, who can get that turnover, spark their team. And Ohio comes up with it big and playing great defense all half, but the wide receiver, Jaden Higgins, fell down. He fell down, and there was no one there. And Cox is the one that picked it off. Probably the easiest interception he'll have. Nice little play action. And he was supposed to be right in that window. He falls down, and Ohio takes advantage.
So Ohio will start with the ball inside the Iowa State 25. On the ground, O'Shawn Allison. And a good stop there by Jacob Ellis.
I still think Ohio should try to keep at that run game. You know, but both teams, run game is one of those things. In all my years doing football, it's just, at some point, it usually starts to happen. It usually starts to break open. Somebody gets a crease. Defense gets a little tired, so I don't think you should totally go away from that run game, either side. Surveying the field, Rourke. A little too much surveying.
And a timeout, Ohio.
First charge, timeout of the half. Ohio. Media timeout.
All right, Rocky, you're a former NFL linebacker. When you see a quarterback taking this kind of time,
30.
What does that do to you as a defensive player? You're just trying to figure out when he's going to snap the ball, what he's doing there.
Yeah, what I would usually like to do when a quarterback's scanning, I try to move around, stem my alignments, try to just change that picture. But Iowa State seems to be content with just staying right where they are and saying, hey, this is where we're going to play. You got to find the open space there. Haven't really been able to do it much. Tell you what, Ohio doesn't do much motion and shift. That's one thing I hate is, you know, when they're moving all around. No, stay right there where I can figure out what's going on instead of moving around so much. You see Matt Campbell trying to get his troops going. Sick or not, they got to come out here and play some football in this second half.
So off the interception, Ohio trying to put up the first points of the day. You're on 2nd and 10. Play action, Rourke rolling out. And he completes it to his receiver, Sam Wiglis, for a gain of 7.
Good pass. He had an intermediate flat route and then a shallow flat route. And whatever one gets taken away, you hit the other one. That was a strike that Rourke threw.
Hey, Rocky, how about this? This is the first trip to the red zone for either team today.
Wow. And this is where ball security becomes so important. You got the turnover. You had a couple of nice plays here. You're inside the red zone. Cannot afford to turn this ball over. Make good decisions.
3rd and 3. Rourke is looking to pass. Flushed out to his right. He's going to use his feet. And pushed out inside the 10, marked at the 6. Another first down, and Ohio, they'll have 1st and goal.
I mean, the best play Ohio's had all day is the quarterback scramble. It really has. And again, we've talked about it. Take what the defense gives you. They've done a nice job covering things up, and this is what makes Rourke dangerous. He's not a just super electrifying runner, but he's good enough. He's big, he's fast, and if they're going to let him just have those 3 yards, he's going to take them.
Rourke has got 5 rushes today. 4 of them have been for 10 or more yards. From the 6. 1st and goal. Rourke looking end zone, pulls it down, now throws to the corner. Incomplete, left it short for Sam Wiglusz. And it was Freeler, the man in coverage.
I can see a little bit better route combination. When you talk about a low percentage pass, receiver floating away, and you got to throw it into a box in the back corner of the end zone. There's got to be something they can get going with the crossers in the middle, try to rub off a defender or have one of those defenders sit down in that open space and have Rourke just throw a strike to him. You'd also like to see him get Wilkes Marek, 85, the tight end, involved, use his height down here.
After the incompletion, 2nd and goal on the ground. Allison, and he gets pushed back.
Those linebackers for Iowa State can play too. We talk about them, they're bigger bodies. You saw Jacob Ellis flying up in there and pushing the running back, not allowing any space. Okay, they got a trips up to the top here. Tyler Walton all the way to the top. Wiglusz is the 3rd wide receiver. Have to imagine some sort of concept to get one of those guys open.
Ohio on 3rd and goal. Rourke scanning in the middle, touchdown! Sam Wiglusz wide open for the 5-yard touchdown strike. And Ohio gets on the board first.
And you'll see Ohio had those trips up to the top, and there was 4 defenders. They have one more guy, but check out the fancy route running by Wiglusz here. They're trying to pass this thing up. 2 guys cover 1, and Wiglusz is wide open. Excellent job, and then Rourke sorting through the trash, having the patience and finding his best wide receiver open.
Giannis Spedic, his extra point is good. Ohio comes out of the half with a 7-0 lead here in the 3rd.
And it's all sparked by the turnover. They get the big takeaway by Cox. A couple other good plays. Now Ohio's back in this. Finally a little bit of offense here at Peden Stadium. Rourke leads his team down the field. It's 7-0 Ohio.
Welcome back to the All-State Saturday Kickoff. Ohio on the board first with a 7-0 lead over Iowa State. It is time now for the All-State. Take a look at the scoring drive first. 6 plays, 23 yards. It was the big interception by Torrey Cox Jr. that set up the completion, the 5-yard catch by Wiglusz.
I like how Wiglusz, it looked like he just found some space and sat down there and gave a nice target for his quarterback to throw him the ball.
It is time now for the All-State good hand plays, and got to set it up with the defense.
Yeah, they've been phenomenal, and just coming out of halftime here, receiver falls down, and the cornerback is in the right spot at the right time, and then credit Ohio for making them pay after that, but then finally getting some plays going with the offense. It's been just tough sledding for both offenses today, but again, no turnovers. Being careful with the football pays off for Ohio.
So Rocco Becht, after throwing an interception, let's see how he responds in his 3rd career start. Empty backfield, quick throw to the outside, that is complete. He's got Daniel Jackson. Picked up a gain of 7. So Matt Campbell told us he's playing with so many young guys this season. They got 6 true freshmen, 35 redshirt sophomore or younger players who have played in these first 2 games. And the big reason for that is because of the illegal sports wagering investigation that now has Iowa State without 5 potential starters. They're without a quarterback, running back, tight end, offensive lineman, and defensive lineman who could be starters on this team right now. Young guys having to fill the gap.
Yeah, that's what it needs right now is just a veteran player to step up and say, we got to get it together and play better. Here's one.
Benjamin Bramer. He's got a good pass from his quarterback, Beck. They pick up 14 and a first down.
And Ben Bramer, he just kind of reminds you of Charlie Kohler, right? That Iowa State tight end, now playing in the NFL, but that kind of size, 6'7", he's 240. He's just a freshman, folks. So here in a couple of years, he'll be 6'7" and probably about 260.
I talked to Matt Campbell about how he handled the situation, right? With everything going on in college football, there's no playbook for something like that, an investigation on that level, dealing with all these young guys. We'll get to it after this play. 1st and 10 now coming up for Rocco Beck under center. To the ground game, that is Norton. And Norton, a short game on first down. He said, first, when you deal with a situation like that, you got to be honest and upfront with your team. What did we learn from this? He said, was a $5 bet worth losing your entire college career? So you got to educate all your players on the rules, what's going on around college football. But he said it's also about having compassion for everyone that is going through it. Think about these players and now their families who have lost their eligibility. No one wants to be in a situation like this.
And it's everywhere. It's just it's new ground. It's stuff no one's had to deal with. Unfortunately, there's going to be a few hiccups along the way.
2nd and 8. They get one on the ground. That is Carson Hansen. We were told we were going to see more of Carson Hansen. He's the freshman, 6'2", 210.
Also still see our guy Bryce Houston running around out there. E. Thompson, good play by Cox there.
Ohio scores a touchdown coming off the interception. Iowa State is now faced with a 3rd and 7. They're 1 for 6 on 3rd downs today. Pressured. Beck avoids it, gets the throw out, and completes it to Dimitri Stanley. But he's going to be well short of that first down.
It was an excellent throw. I mean, rolling away from his body, had to kind of contort his arm, one of those Patrick Mahomes sidearm things, but just a little short. And I think Matt Campbell's saying, we need to get something going. We need some momentum. I think they're going to go for this thing right here. High risk, high reward, right? You get this thing, now you got momentum, you're rolling a little bit, but let's see what Ohio's defense's answer is.
Trips bunch to the top of the screen, and the Cyclones are going to call a timeout.
First charge, timeout of the half. Iowa State.
A big 4th and 2 coming up. We will step aside and come back to Athens, Ohio after this. After the Iowa State timeout, they've decided to change their mind. Rocco Beck is now on the bench, and the punt unit is on the field. Rock, do you like this change, of course?
I think I do, because I think Matt Campbell saw those numbers right there, just 22 rush yards on the day. Make no mistake about it, folks. Iowa State's plan coming into this game was to pound the rock up front. They've not been able to do it. And you got maybe one of the best punters, if not the best punter in the nation right now in Perkins. You're going to try to pin him deep.
Perkins already has 2 spectacular punts where he's pinned Ohio today. Let's see what he comes up with here. Walton is the deep man inside his own 10. And Walton will let it bounce and will check up around the 15-yard line, a punt of 31 yards. We will have 2 ESPN primetime games tonight. Number 11, Tennessee, is in the Swamp to take on Florida at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Then, I mean, this is really the one we've all been waiting for. Coach Prime and number 18, Colorado. They square off against rival Colorado State in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. What a night of football. And what a player Colorado has in Travis Hunter. Playing both sides of the ball.
I mean, it's just amazing. Just a two-way player in today's college football. I really think it's going to start a trend. I think teams are going to start saying, who's our best player? And maybe they can give us even just a few snaps on the other side of the ball. But that man is tremendous.
Ohio with their 4th start inside the 20. As Bangura trying to give them some room on first down. He picks up maybe 2.
You see Iowa State grabbing and trying to yank at that ball. They know that, hey, their offense is stalling today. They might have to make something happen themselves. Very important right now for Bangura and company to hold tight onto that football.
What are those discussions on the defensive side of the ball when you know your offense isn't putting up points?
Well, yeah, that's what you do. You turn to each other and say, hey, one of us got to make a play here. An interception, a pick, somebody go grab for that ball here. Whatever needs to happen to help our football team. And there's days the defense doesn't play great. The offense needs to pick them up. Here today, that defense needs to make a play.
2nd and 8. Bangura again on the ground. So Ohio sticking to the plan, taking their time methodically, trying to shorten this game. They want to keep this a low-scoring game.
I mean, this is playing exactly into the game plan that Tim Albin wanted. He probably wanted a few more points, but nevertheless, this is exactly what they wanted. Take your time. Big 3rd down here. And Wiggless has been his go-to guy here. He's at the bottom of the screen there in the slot.
Ohio 50% converting 3rd downs today. 3rd and 4. Rourke. He is pressured, trying to get rid of it, and will just dump it into the turf. Incomplete.
It was a good job. Iowa State held up good on the back end here, and so that decision to punt that ball back there on the 50-yard line turns out to be the best one. So now they're going to get the ball, should get in pretty good field position. If I'm Ohio, I start choosing some designed runs for Kirk Schwartz. As we talked about, that's been their best play. I'd like to get big number 7 out there, let him run around a little bit as this game closes.
So the second 3 and out for Ohio. Gonna bring on Wheatley, the punter. Let's see if Stanley can spark Iowa State. Almost got the block there. As Stanley will now call for the fair catch inside the 35. What will the Cyclones do on offense here? They find themselves down 7-0, 6:36 to play here in the 3rd.
Intuitive sit to start in the all-electric ID4. It's the little things. It's a VW. Lease the 2023 all-electric ID4 Pro during Fall Fest for just $319 a month after an EV lease bonus and customer bonus.
How powerful is Cox Fiber? So powerful that one day you'll be able to transform this pile of plastic pieces into a Superbot, which could transform you from just Julian's dad into Julian's hero. Introducing Cox Fiber with fiber-fast speeds. It's internet built for tomorrow, today.
How about this backdrop in Ohio? The Cedar Cliffs climbing all the way up for Iowa State in their offense. They've got a tough hill to climb themselves right now, trying to get on the board. If you're just joining us, they are without their leading receiver, Jalen Knoll, dealing with an illness. He was questionable before the game, and his backup, Dimitri Stanley, has started in his place.
And I think that's affecting him more than we even maybe imagine. Here's a flag.
False start. Offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So they back up 5 yards, 1st and 15 for this offense. Who's going to step up and be the guy today for the Cyclones? Becht rolling out. He completes it to Stanley.
And that's where football is just such a fine line. It's a beautiful throw, but if it's just a little bit tighter on him, he can turn that thing upfield and maybe get an extra 10. As I said, I don't know if we even realize how much of a loss not having Jalen Knoll is. You know, he's an experienced guy. He's played a bunch. I mean, he played his freshman year. So he's played a bunch of football. These kind of moments when your team's stalling, you need those guys with experience to make a play. He's not there today.
2nd and 8. Norton gets by a shoestring tackle, got a couple more, but there's just too many green jerseys all over him. All that work, Rocky, and that was no gain.
And this is one where the defense, the coordinator shows in film the next day, and you just rewind it over and over and over and over and say, boys, this is how you play defense. We talk about swarming the ball, talk about not giving up, talking about many hats to the football, and that's what Ohio did right there on that play, corralling a 225-pound running back.
That was the 8th carry for Norton today, a total of 18 yards. Only 4 rushes from him have been for positive yards.
Try to get Bramer going, tight end, top of the screen, third receiver.
On 3rd and 8, Beck directing traffic. And the catch is made by Stanley, but where do they mark him? It's going to be close to that marker. Walter Reynolds was closely there in coverage, and it looks like it's going to be 4th down.
It looks like it's going to be short from where he marked it. And it looked like Beck early on, for just a split second, had Ben Bramer curled up right over the ball. Would have been a 1st down. Instead, he has to go outside with it, and it is short.
Once again, that would have been the route run by Jalen Knoll. Instead, it was Stanley who ran the route just short of the marker.
I'm a little, you know, I guess, mystified a bit. I would have thought Iowa State might rely more on their tight ends. I mean, with the height advantage. You know, this is not the biggest, tallest Ohio defense out there. And you have 4 tight ends that are 6'5" and over. They might try to utilize those bigger bodies a bit.
So the play is under review. Let's see exactly where Stanley went out of bounds.
And they might even be looking at, was it a catch? I think it was a catch.
So they needed 8. They marked him short, a gain of 7. Do you think they adjust the spot off of any of the angles we've seen?
There's nothing definitive I can see where, okay, clearly, and that's, you know, how replay's supposed to work. It's got to jump off the screen in order for them to overturn a call on the field. I didn't see enough.
Look at the feet of Stanley there. It looks like he gets to the 43 potentially.
But it looks like his feet are there, but I don't know if the ball ever gets past the yard line.
So Henry Johns, our referee, is under the hood. He's talking to our replay official, John Hansen. And they're taking their time on this one, Rocky, to go to your point. The feet look like he was at the marker. Now, where was the ball?
I just personally didn't see enough to say, okay, yeah, that should be overturned. It could look like it could go either way. In that case, it's supposed to stand, but we'll take a look at it.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. 4th down.
Yeah. That's the right call in that situation there. But this, again, I think we're talking about the Iowa State offense stalling, which it is, but we got to give credit to this Ohio defense. I mean, swarming around the way they are, there's nowhere to go in the back end with the football. Everything Iowa State has gotten from the pass game has been hard throws to the short, shallow, outside part of the field. That's tough sled. If you got to live on getting 5-yard out routes all game, it's going to be tough.
Another 3 and out brings on Tyler Perkins, a booming punt. Walton will let it sail over his head, and it just checks up. What a weapon Tyler Perkins has been for Iowa State. That's the 3rd punt marked down inside the 10, a punt of 48 yards, and he is keeping the Cyclones in this game.
The kid's just a sophomore, but he's going to make some money someday in the National Football League. He's a weapon for sure.
Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Allstate. We had South Carolina last week, a tough test against the number 1 team in the country, Georgia.
And they looked a lot better last week, but boy, Georgia's pretty good from what I hear. Looking forward to watching Michigan too. I have them making the college football playoff this year. A loaded roster for the Blue.
Rourke will keep it. Plenty of time. A rifle over the middle. He's got Walton. Walton crosses the 30. A gain of 22 for a 1st down.
And I love this play design. I talked about this earlier, right? There's some openings in the middle of the field. So what they do is they take Wiggless down the slot. He runs that thing deep, runs off that safety, and then Walton comes right back underneath.
4 wide for Curtis Rourke. And this one off to Bangura. And Bangura on first down, he picks up 4 yards. Continues to drive here for Ohio.
Take 4 yards on a run right now. Starting to get toward that fourth quarter. That's what Ohio's hoping right now, is those 2-yard runs at the beginning of the game are going to turn into 4-yard runs that maybe turn into 5, that maybe break one.
On 2nd and 6, an empty backfield for Rourke. Throwing over the middle, completes again. Jacoby Jones with the big reception, a gain of 20. And Curtis Rourke is starting to feel it.
And what a great job. This is a big boy throw from Rourke. It's a nice job there with a little stutter and go by Jacoby Jones. You talked about his speed earlier, John. He didn't need a ton of it there, but just sat down right in that open spot. How about Rourke rolling to his right, throwing across his body like it ain't no thing, and hitting his receiver?
He is just so in control at the line of scrimmage, in the pocket.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, I just love how he's in command. He's not asked, hey, coach, where should I go with the ball? He's choosing where to go with the ball. He's made some good decisions today.
1st and 10. He keeps it himself. Rourke looking to throw. Pulled it back. Now lines up down the sideline and just left it short of his receiver, Chase Hendricks.
That was one he wanted. Trying to go deep on him, ran him off, and it was a good job on the outside. When your quarterback's rolling out of the pocket, time's run down, come back to the quarterback. He just threw it a little short.
Are we watching Army football, or is this Ohio, this time of possession differential?
Well, if you watched Army last night, they were like an offensive juggernaut, especially compared to what we're seeing today.
Press coverage on the outside for Iowa State on 2nd and 10. They go to the ground, the Bobcats. Bangura, he's been getting most of the carries in the second half. And he'll carry the ball 5 yards, marked down inside the 40 to the 39.
Slow, let the clock keep running here. I think, and this is such an important drive here for Iowa State. They have got to stop Ohio from scoring because they're content to bleed this clock down, but if they can bleed the clock and pick up another score, make this a 2-score game, that's trouble for the way Ohio State's played so far today.
First 3rd down of this drive for the Bobcats. They've got a 3rd and 5.
They're showing some pressure up the middle.
Rourke, strong throw to the outside. What a throw on the money to Sam Wiglusz. On 3rd down, they pick up 15 and keep the drive alive.
Oh, and it was a great blitz pickup by C.A. Bangura, the running back. They showed blitz, so they knew the pressure was coming, and Bangura, he kind of hides right back in that A-gap. Watch him right there. You see number 5. Okay, they're bringing the linebacker, and he comes up and gets him. He was free, and it gave just enough time for Rourke. That's beautiful football.
Under 1:30 to play here in this 3rd quarter. O'Shawn Allison now the running back behind Rourke. They fake it to him. Rourke checks out. Oh! Just one-hand me. Tyler Foster just trucking dudes. Ohio has taken their game to another level here in the 3rd. A pickup of 5.
I think Tyler Foster was tired of us talking about Iowa State's tight ends. Good job, not the best throw in the world, but your receivers need to help you out once in a while if you're a quarterback. And lower the shoulder. I mean, Foster went from 6'7" to about 5'7" right there as he lowered his shoulder and fought off the tackler.
That was
it, young man.
That was Jeremiah Cooper just getting crunched by the big tight end. Second and 5. They move the pocket. Rourke keeps it himself, will dive forward, and he does pick up that 1st down. Wow. A gain of 6.
This is a play I've seen him run a few times this year. A little option. You think, okay, Rourke, he's not an option quarterback. And they saved it for the perfect time. They brought it out. right when they needed to pick up a first down. That was great.
Ohio content with not running another play. That'll do it for the third quarter. Ohio had an interception here to start the third, turn it into a touchdown. That's the only score. A 7-0 lead over Iowa State. Let's go to the fourth.
Welcome back to Frank Solich Field. 1 quarter to go. Ohio up 7-0 in this one, here with head coach Tim Albom. Coach, what do you guys have to do to finish this one off?
Well, it's been a heck of a ball game defensively, both sides. I like where we are as far as taking care of the football. We got to get some points here.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Dawn, thank you for that. Alongside Rocky Boyman, Dawn Davenport, I'm John Schriffen. Start of the fourth quarter, Ohio with a 7-0 lead.
Ohio State's defense, I think about Rourke running the ball down in this area of the field.
Rourke drops back, looks to throw, and just throws it into the turf in front of his running back, Allison.
Again, same thing, what we talked about all day, John, is not force the ball there. How many times do you see a quarterback right there try to throw a ball in a double coverage, make a big play? Nope, not there. Throw it at his feet. You're in good position here. You have to settle for a field goal. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's much better than trying to force a throw here.
We talked to offensive coordinator Scott Isfording for Ohio. He said so many great things about his quarterback, but the biggest thing he said, he's like MJ. Give him the ball at the top of the key and let him go to work. We trust him with his decisions.
So don't try to tell him, do this, do that. Let him make the decision. Oh, wow.
Decides to give this one off to Allison. He will fall forward inside the 10.
And you can see, we talked about earlier, John, about the defense trying to say, hey, we got to make a play here. There's a great run by Allison, but you see TJ Tampa, the cornerback, he's trying to rip that ball away. Good job of ball security. They're trying to pull it away, but good stuff hanging on to that thing. So important, this area of the field and this area of the game.
And this is a team who's had turnover issues coughing up the ball. They've worked on ball security drills weeks in practice. They said twice a week we work on ball security now because of all the fumbles. Bangura to the right of Rourke on 3rd and 6. Looking to throw right side, end zone, incomplete. He had Wiglis, but Jeremiah Cooper, boy, did he close in fast and bat it away.
I would challenge to find another safety in college football this year that has made this many splash plays. Talk about his 3 interceptions, but look at this. That is a tough duty to turn back around, find the ball, and bat it away. That was a perfectly thrown ball.
Rocky, that should have been a touchdown. And that's Cooper saving a touchdown, keeping Iowa State in this game. It'll be a 27-yard field goal attempt for Gianni Spedic. Spedic's kick is up and good, and he now makes it a 2-score game with Ohio, a 10-0 lead over Iowa State. They got the cannons firing here in Athens, Ohio, because it's the MAC right now with a lead over the Big 12. After the field goal, Ohio pushes their lead 10-0 over Iowa State. Hey, little guy, we see you down there making all that noise.
Is that the cannon that made that big shot after that? They haven't needed too much firepower today, but they've had just enough. So far, 10 points. All they've needed.
Matt Campbell has never been shut out as an FBS head coach in his 8th season here at Iowa State. Spent 5 years as the head coach at Toledo. This is Carson Hansen on a return. He'll be tripped up short of the 20. Well, we knew the defense for Ohio were good coming into the game, but Rocky, did we think Ohio was this good defensively?
The game they played last week against FAU was a dominant performance here. Okay, it's going to fall off a little bit with a Big 12 opponent coming in. Not today. I mean, it's just really in all phases. Look at the 3rd down conversions, allowed just 1 of 8. I mean, how they've performed in this entire season. As we talked about, I think they had a chip on their shoulder. Everyone's talking about their offense coming into the season. They say, hey, what about us? Well, they've showed up.
State starts inside the 20. Beck will dive forward, What does Iowa State have to do to change offensively? There's so much time left here in this fourth quarter.
I said it earlier, I would get the tight ends a little bit more involved. I mean, there's such a big bodies, wide receiver threats. Try to get Bramer involved. Try to get Easton Dean involved a little bit. Just good, solid, big targets for your young quarterback.
Run on first down and brings up 2nd and 4 for the Cyclones. Beck looks to escape the pocket again. And he picks up 3. Bryce Houston, another tackle there. Just a yard short of the marker.
Hey guys, how about these linebackers? And Bryce Houston and Key Thompson. Love these guys. Coach said these are the guys that really make them go, and they lead in different ways. You know, one good cop, one bad cop. Bryce more empathetic, told me he has a relationship with everyone. He'll give you a hug, you know. And then on the other hand, he said Key has this fire in his belly. He'll get you all riled up. But man, those guys are fun to watch down here and the way they lead.
Well, it shows there's no one way to do it, Don. You know, aggressive, laid back, calm, cool, whatever, but they're 2 of the best in the MAC, no question.
Weren't able to stop Iowa State there on getting that first down. 1st and 10. Beck is pressured, and he is dropped. That is the first sack allowed this season by the Iowa State offensive line.
The offensive line has done a good job keeping pressure off the quarterback and a quick release by Beck, but finally Ohio gets home. And it's just rushing 4.
Kwame Sutton gets the sack. Iowa State coming into the game was just one of 7 schools around the country who had not allowed a sack coming into the game.
They're 4 and 5 wide right now for Iowa State. They know they got to put the ball down the field.
2nd and 11. Quick throw. There's the tight end you've been asking to get involved. That's Bramer. And he shows you what he can do. A good run after the catch. He'll be 1 yard short of the first down.
I mean, big target, you know, big catch radius. That'll make a bad throw look good.
And Iowa State, they've got that 3rd and 1 play down pack. Rocco Beck, he catches the defense sleeping.
Yeah, that was a good job by a young quarterback right there. Sensing the defense is kind of milling around a little bit. Get up to the ball and hike that thing and pick up the first down. Excellent veteran move right there by Beck. See, look at that. Here, where are we going? Where are we lining? Nope. Offense is snapping the ball, guys. Good job.
Iowa State, no reason to panic yet. Just a 10-point lead, plenty of time in the 4th. And Beck is driving. Throw over the middle off the hands of his tight end, Easton Dean.
It was the right idea going back to Dean. It's a tough throw going back across the field, but he had him. Ball came out a little bit wobbly. Iowa's defense is yet to really blitz. They've only brought 4 so far today. They haven't brought 5. I think that's the best decision to make. I always think a younger quarterback with that experience, try to take away all those areas for him to throw the football.
Staying the man in motion across the formation on 2nd and 10. They're looking his direction. Now they throw the out route. And Daniel Jackson, that ball was put in perfectly by Beck. A pickup of 19.
What a throw. It's cover 2. The safety has the half field deep. But the corner sinks. He tries to get in that window, but he's put just enough on to get over top the corner and right into the basket. What a beautiful throw to Jackson. Now that's a play you can take some momentum on. That's a confidence builder. Hey, we got a good game, good throw. Now let's get another one, boys.
Stanley in motion again. 1st and 10. Beck looking to throw, pressured. He's got a man chasing him from behind. Does a nice job holding onto the ball. That was Walter Reynolds. And he picks up 4 yards with the scramble.
And I saw the defender coming from behind there. He was going to whack at that ball. A good job by Beck. You can see it was Walter Reynolds. You know he's going to try to throw a hammer at a good ball security by the youngster.
Man, that thing didn't move. That was high and tight.
He learned that from his dad. You get that ball, you carry that thing tight.
10th play of the drive coming up for the Cyclones. Ball 34, 2nd and 9. A low throw, but reeled in by Bramer. Shows you the agility to go down and get that one.
Tight ends, give them the ball. Big targets, athletic. Even if you throw it low, they can go down and get it. Great job by Ben Bramer.
They reset the change as they hold the ball momentarily. Rocky, is this the best drive you've seen from this offense for Iowa State?
Far and away. I mean, it really first time they've been able to put a bunch of plays together in a drive all day.
Becht, throw over the middle, and that is broken up incomplete. Wow, that was Key Thompson.
And Key Thompson, we've talked about him, how stout he's been against the run. I think he has double-digit tackles, but you can cover a tight end in space. Look at all this area. There's a little whip route. He fakes the inside route, comes back around. That is the toughest route to cover for any defender. Ask any of them. Because you think he's coming across, and then he plants his foot in the ground, comes back, but just great reaction and great athleticism by Key Thompson.
You talked about those linebackers for Ohio. Key Thompson, Bryce Houston, he has tied a career high with 15 tackles today.
Oh.
2nd and 10. The ground game is going nowhere. Norton just stuffed by Vonnie Watkins.
Vonnie Watkins, we haven't called his name much today, but he's a veteran playmaking defender for this Ohio defense. But just splits him, just splits the tackle, comes back, actually comes back door on him and still has the speed to get upfield before Norton can get to the outside. What a play.
Iowa State is a perfect 2 for 2 on 3rd downs this drive. They've got a 3rd and 13. Becht, he's got time with a 3-man rush, slings it, and he's got his receiver, Dimitri Stanley. A gain of 12. He's still going to be a yard short.
Another great throw by Becht on that play. Dimitri Stanley, as we talked about, he's in for Jalen Knoll. Probably their most experienced wide receiver. He's out with the sickness. Look at him scan the field here. Scan, nothing there, no pressure. And a receiver coming back to the football. I think this is a good choice right here. Take the points while you can get them. Try to get some momentum off of getting 3.
So Chase Contreras will come on for a 37-yard field goal attempt. And no good.
Wow.
Contreras can't believe it. Iowa State is still blanked here in the 4th.
And how demoralizing for Iowa State and that coach right there, Matt Campbell. They put their best drive of the game together. But
wait,
just
that looks, it could have been good. We might have to take another look back.
The All-State Saturday Kickoff is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands.
Joe Burrow had a legendary career at Athens, Ohio High School from 2011 to 2014. Over 11,000 passing yards, over 2,000 rushing yards. I mean, just bonkers numbers. 157 passing touchdowns.
And John, as you know, I live in Cincinnati, and I can't tell you how much Burrow mania has taken over that town, how well he's played. People love that quarterback, and he's one of the best. His worst performance last week. He missed a lot of preseason, but he'll be back there, no question.
So Ohio runs the ball, but we've got to get back to that field goal. From our vantage point, it looked good, and for some reason, this play was not reviewed, Rocky.
They did not call down, or call up to review it. But it looks like it goes over top of the goal, but sneaks right in. I mean, is that not worth a look?
Rocky, that's good.
Wow. It at least should have been looked at, in my opinion. You know, they call him, maybe they did talk about it, but we got no indication that they did. That from that angle right there, those 2 angles, I think looked like it was in.
That would have been a 1-score game at that point.
It's huge.
That is a huge call in this game. Ohio gets the ball back with Allison.
And I guess you and I are a little shocked that, like, you know, Iowa State sideline isn't going nuts. Like, wait a minute, can we look at that?
Well, and I knew something was off because the kicker, Chase Contreras, kind of threw his hands up like he thought it was good.
Yeah,
he's like, wait, really?
Well, nevertheless, that's a thing of the past, and Ohio is going to go slow. They're going to try to grind this thing out. Very important third down here. Got to keep that clock moving.
Under 6 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. 3rd and 2. Allison, and he did not get there. So Iowa State defense, they do their job. They bring up 4th down, and the punt team will come on for Ohio.
Great job by Iowa State. I mean, it's so hard just down after down throughout this game with your offense stalling to keep answering the bell. But how about that? Three runs up the middle, stop them, force a punt for Ohio. And their punter, Jared Wheatley, hang time hasn't been what they've wanted. He needs to let off a boomer here.
Stanley will have a chance to return this one. Inside the 25, pointing out for some blockers, but he doesn't get much on the return. So more hang time off that punt from Jared Wheatley, and Iowa State will get the ball back. 5:03 to play, down by 10. What do the Cyclones have on offense? Ohio with a 10-0 lead in the fourth quarter. Iowa State getting the ball back. Well, the big play here in this fourth quarter moments ago was that field goal. It was called no good. The reason why this play is not reviewable, according to the rule book, if the ball is above the top of the goalpost, it is not reviewable. So they could not go back and look at it and see if it had, in fact, snuck inside that flag.
It was a good job by our team digging into that rule there, a little bit of a nuanced one.
So Beck, he's looking for a big shot downfield. Incomplete. Higgins was trying to get a one-handed catch. We've got multiple flags with Justin Burchett in coverage. Now, who are they going to call this on? Was it the offense or the defense pass interference?
Pass interference. Defense, number 8. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
The first penalty of the day called against Ohio is a pass interference.
And that's the first real shot that Iowa State's taken all game, and Beck uncorked this thing. It's tough sledding there. Jaden Higgins spinning back around trying to get a hand on, but nevertheless, 15-yard penalty.
Beck on first down. He's got a man wide open down the sideline. Daniel Jackson stumbling out of bounds. And the Cyclones all of a sudden have got something going.
Miscommunication on the back end. You can see the safety, Roman Perotti, out there. Look, he goes up. He thinks somebody's going to be behind him, that he's going to jump that route, but there's no one behind him. And you can tell they're looking around saying, hey, who was supposed to have that back end there? It looked like the play was supposed to be cover 2, but the safety came up on that.
39-yard pickup into the red zone for the Cyclones. Ball on the 18, 1st and 10. Beck looking, end zone, touchdown! Jaden Higgins gets Iowa State on the board. And Rocco Beck in his 3rd start is looking cool and calm, saying this game's not over yet.
What a gutsy play right there by Beck. You can tell his dad loves, he says, yes, finally. And look at what a great shot here by our end zone cam. You can see Higgins just bend that thing right in. It's put in the perfect spot, up high and just inside. It was a little bit too tall for Bryce Houston, the linebacker, to get it, but just a perfect throw. He's there you go, he's fired up.
Contreras, no doubter on this one, splitting the upright. The extra point is good. 48-second drive. It was only 2 plays, 72 yards, and Iowa State gets on the board.
And here late, you see Iowa State attacking things down the field. I think it opened it up for that seam route for Jaden Higgins to come in. This game ain't over, folks. 10-7 here in Athens.
Welcome back to the All-State Saturday Kickoff. Iowa State has just scored a touchdown, making this a game again, a 3-point lead for Ohio alongside Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport. I'm John Schriffen. 4:15 to play here in the fourth. Ohio's calling for the fair catch as they let it go into the end zone. Let's check out today's best moment, brought to you by AT&T 5G.
And this is great. And we got Ohio's best wide receiver, Sam Wiglusz, takes a shot to the ribs. Looks like he's down. Maybe Iowa State's going to catch a little momentum, but no, he shakes that thing off, gets up to the crowd, and then with the play of the game, veteran wide receiver finds space, sits down in it, and gives a good target for his quarterback and gets them on the board here. That's been the biggest sequence here for Ohio.
.4:15 to play here in the fourth. Ohio's got to get some first downs. Rourke on the run. He finds his dependable receiver. That's Wiglusz again, picking up 15, getting out of bounds.
Don't you just love it when you talk about a guy, then he follows up with another big play? And that was over Jeremiah Cooper. Their great safety on that back end for that Cyclone defense. And Iowa State saying, okay, they're going to run the ball, we're going to run the clock out. Nope, we're going to go play action and throw a tough throw to the outside part of the field, number 12.
Play clock's at 10, so Ohio is in no hurry right now. Run with Bangura. He just gets back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. So Iowa State, they've got 2 timeouts remaining. At what point do you start thinking about using them?
I think right here, if you stuff them, I think it might be an opportunity to use a timeout. Right here, as you mentioned, you have 2 of them. But Ohio, right here, do you go for the dagger? Do you go and pick up a first down? That changes the ball game big time.
On the ground again, Bangura. And Iowa State is ready again. We got maybe 1.
They called it, right? Yeah. Called a timeout. That's what you do. You get a big stop right there, you call a timeout.
Kick off your Week 2 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the app. They'll look at what life after Aaron Rodgers means for the Jets as they prepare to take on the Cowboys. Plus, interviews with Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, as well as the inside story of the comeback that unfolded in a Packers bar last week. Those stories, all the early breaking news, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. How about a couple of former Iowa State guys making a name for themselves in the NFL?
Boy, Breece Hall was so good when he was running around here in the maroon and yellow, and he's taking those talents to the NFL. Played great, had a big run the other night. And Brock Purdy, he's one of those guys they keep doubting his entire career. Now he's not tall enough, he doesn't have a strong enough arm, he doesn't run around fast enough, but he fits perfectly into that Kyle Shanahan offense that requires accuracy and precision, playing well.
Proudly wearing that Mr. Irrelevant tag at the draft.
More guys in the box right now for Iowa State. They know they need a stop.
3rd and 9. A keeper by Rourke, and that is sniffed out. Ben Nickel. How you doing?
And Ben Nickel ran it down from the backside.
Final charge, time
Great
out of the
play
half.
call here by
Iowa
John
State,
Haycock, the
30
defensive coordinator. They bring everyone up on the line, and there's no one. Look at the top of the screen. It's kind of a zone run here off to the left, and then you just see the speed running that thing down from behind. If he's not there, that's a first down, and this ball game could be over. What a great play.
Iowa State has elected to use their final timeout of the game. They stop the clock with 2:35 to play, 4th and 11. The punt team will come on for Ohio.
Gonna come down here to the final drive. 2.5 minutes, no timeouts for Iowa State. A stage is set for Rocco Beck in this offense. See if they can come from behind here.
Let's see if Dimitri Stanley has a little magic up his sleeves here on this punt return. to see if he can spark something for Iowa State as Wheatley will come on to punt for Ohio.
The hang time is critical right here. You don't want to kick a line drive to Stanley and let him set this up with good field position. Put that ball high in the air.
Wheatley almost blocked. And Stanley will have to let that one bounce, and it takes an Ohio roll inside the 15. And a good punt for Jared Wheatley. A 48-yard punt will back up Iowa State down by 3.
And that's where you'd love to see your returner come up, fair catch, and catch that ball on about, what, the 25, 30-yard line. Instead, it costs him about a good 15 yards in field position.
All right, Rocky, here we go. Iowa State down by 3. What do you think they exposed from the Ohio defense on that last drive?
Well, I think what they did is on the first play of the drive, they tried that deep shot. I mean, Brett uncorked one about 60 yards down the field to Higgins. I think what it did, it loosened up the defense. Defense said, hey, nothing over our head, boys, and opened up some more passing lanes underneath.
1st and 10. Beck, a bullet, and it's picked off!
Oh, wow.
Rodney Matthews, the interception for Ohio. It looked like it could have been pass interference against Ohio. It looked like the defender got there first before the ball, but I don't see any penalty flags.
And it was Roman Parodi, the safety, the defensive back. Brooklyn, you see him at the top of the screen. He's reading. And he breaks on the ball and just pops that thing up in the air. And how about that? The defensive lineman, Rodney Matthews. You always teach those guys, keep running. Run to the ball. Turn around and run if you're a defensive lineman, just for that kind of situation. Every once in a while, it pays off. That's why you tell them to do it. And this Bobcat defense that's played so well all day comes up with a big one. It was a great pass by Beck, and you can see his mom right there. Deanne can't believe it. Dad can't believe it. Great throw, just a great break on the ball, and just unfortunate thing pops up in the air, and a defensive lineman turns around and catches it.
Iowa State, they cannot stop the clock. No timeouts remaining. Rourke, he's actually looking to throw, and now he's just going to take a knee. That's a loss of 11. If the math works out, they should be able to run out the clock, correct?
My Notre Dame math is telling me they should be able to run it out, yes. If not, you don't want to be taking any more negative yardage plays here, but you're going to see them take this thing all the way down, I'd say, under 4 seconds before they snap it. Take it all the way down.
4 seconds on the play clock. Rourke snaps it. And he takes another knee, this time back to the 35. A loss of 8.
Going to be really, really close. They might have to quick punt this thing at the end.
All he has to do is run around a couple seconds.
Tim Albin's saying take it down to 1 second. 1 second and snap the ball, then the math should work.
One gets the snap. Got to run some time off the clock. Takes the knee, and it's under 40. That's game time.
Wow.
Ohio pulls off the huge upset over the Big 12. They will go on to win it 10-7 over Iowa State. It was a defensive battle all game long, but it was Ohio's defense that came up the biggest, getting that interception at the end to seal the win.
And we talked about during the course of the game, John, this Ohio defense that played lights out last week against FAU. Can they put another performance like that again out there today? And they may have been even better. Coming out with a great Big 12 opponent like Iowa State. They led the way while the offense found their way late, and they come up with one of the biggest wins in Peden Stadium history.
It is now a final. Ohio wins it 10-7 over Iowa State. Let's send it down to Dawn for the celebration.
That's right, celebration down here. I'm here with head coach Tim Albin. Coach, you told me at halftime your guys had to be patient. You played Ohio ball where you didn't beat Ohio. What does this one mean to you?
Yeah, it's great for our program. We've been here before. It's a great momentum going into conference play next week. Couldn't be prouder of all three phases. Our defense is playing very, very well. We took care of the ball today. That was the difference in the game.
That defensive unit, they call themselves the Mutts. Nobody has a pedigree. Maybe they're a little smaller than other people, would want them for. How would you describe what they were able to do today?
They started the season with a chip on their shoulder, and I said I'm on record as saying after a couple games they're going to be talking about our defense, and man, are they ever.
And Curtis Rourke, you certainly have to point out what he was able to do in managing that offense. What impressed you about his performance?
I thought he showed incredible toughness, escaped, created extended plays when he had to, had his eyes downfield. It's a tough defense. Again, I thought just as a whole, the program, I couldn't be happier.
Coach, I'll let you go celebrate with them.
Thank you very much.
That Ohio defense held Iowa State to just 38 rush yards all game. And as great as their defense played, I think something that people are going to remember from this game, that field goal that was called no good by Iowa State. On replay, it looked like it was good, but because of the rule, the ball was over the top of the bar. It could not be reviewed, and that would have tied the game.
You're absolutely right. But, for this Ohio defense, we thought they'd play well to start. Maybe even thought they'd play well for 3 quarters, but to play 4 quarters in the final drive of the game, they come up with a big one, a big interception. Here it is. Roman Parodi on the back end, gets his eyes around, separates man from ball, and then, how about that? Defensive lineman Rodney Matthews turning and running, making a big play.
How about the game by Curtis Rourke? He is standing by right now with Dawn.
That's right, here with the quarterback, the winning quarterback, Curtis Rourke. They just showed that final pick. What's going through your mind when you see that happen from your defense?
Our defense did it again. All season they've been having our backs and not letting any offense, move the ball on them. And so, we wanted to win the turnover battle, and we did just that.
You talk about that. We talked about it during the week, the turnovers, and you said, hey, this is the first week I felt 100% healthy. I had all my guys back. How big of a difference did that make for you guys?
Huge. I mean, having those guys, those playmakers on all positions, the whole offense just makes it way easier, and it showed tonight that we were able to make some really good plays.
So I don't know if everybody out there